Welcome to this journey into peaceful rest through the wisdom of Buddhist stories and teachings. Find yourself in a comfortable position, lying down with your body fully supported. Allow your eyes to gently close. Tonight, we will journey together through ancient tales that have guided seekers toward peace for thousands of years. These stories carry medicine for the restless mind and comfort for the weary heart. Take a deep breath in through your nose and release it slowly through your mouth. Again, breathing in deeply and letting go completely. One more time, breathing in peace and breathing out the entire day. Now allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. There is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to go. Simply listen, rest, and allow sleep to come naturally. Body awareness and relaxation. Before we begin our stories, we honor the body. The Buddha taught that the body is our vehicle through life, deserving of our care and attention. Bring your awareness to your feet. Notice any sensations there. Now, with your next exhale, let your feet become heavy, sinking deeper into rest. All tension flows away. Move your attention slowly up through your legs, your calves, your knees, your thighs. With each breath, feel each part releasing, softening, letting go. Your hips and lower back. Breathe into any tightness and let it melt away. Your abdomen and chest, rising and falling naturally like gentle waves. Your shoulders dropping down, arms becoming heavy, hands relaxing completely. Your neck releasing, jaw loosening, face softening, every muscle letting go. Your whole body now resting, supported, safe. Nothing to do but listen and drift. Story 1. The Monk and the Strawberry. Let me tell you an ancient story about presence and appreciation. There was once a monk traveling alone through the mountains. As he walked along a narrow path, he suddenly heard a fierce roar. Turning around, he saw an enormous tiger charging toward him. The monk ran. He ran as fast as his legs could carry him, his heart pounding, his breath quick. Ahead, he saw the mountain path ending at a steep cliff. Without thinking, he jumped, grasping a vine that grew down the cliff face. Hanging there, he looked down and saw another tiger waiting at the bottom of the cliff, looking up at him hungrily. Then, looking up, he saw the first tiger above, growling and reaching with its massive paws. His situation seemed hopeless. But then he noticed something else. 2 mice, one white and one black, had begun to gnaw at the vine that held him. Slowly, steadily, they chewed through the fibers. Above him, danger. Below him, danger. And his only support being eaten away by time itself, for the white and black mice represented day and night, the constant passage of time. What did the monk do in this moment? He noticed, growing from a crack in the cliff face right beside him, a single wild strawberry plant with one ripe red strawberry. The monk reached out, plucked the strawberry, and ate it. How delicious it was! How perfectly sweet! In that moment, suspended between dangers, facing his mortality, he tasted life itself. This story teaches us something profound. We are all, in a sense, hanging from a vine. The tigers of our past and future, our worries and regrets, wait above and below. Time constantly gnaws away at our lives. And yet, there is this moment, this breath, this precious now. Tonight, as you lie here, you might feel pursued by worries, the tiger of tomorrow's tasks, the tiger of yesterday's mistakes. But right now, in this moment, you are safe. You are here. You are breathing. This moment is your strawberry. This rest is your strawberry. Taste it fully. Let yourself be completely here. Breathe in the sweetness of this moment. Breathe out everything else. The tigers cannot reach you here in this bed. The vine will hold through this night. You can rest. You can let go. You can simply be present with this perfect moment of peace. Continue breathing gently, letting this teaching sink into your awareness. There is only now. There is only this breath. How delicious it is to simply be alive, to simply rest. Story 2. The Empty Boat. Let me share another story, this one from a Zen master about anger and perspective. A monk was rowing his small boat across a lake at dawn, going to the monastery on the far shore for morning meditation. The water was still, covered in mist, peaceful and quiet. As he rowed, enjoying the silence, he suddenly saw another boat emerge from the mist, heading straight toward him. Despite his efforts to move aside, the other boat crashed directly into his. The monk felt anger rising in his chest. How careless, how inconsiderate. He turned to confront the person in the other boat, ready to express his frustration. But when he looked, the boat was empty. It had simply broken free from its mooring and drifted into his path. There was no one to blame. No careless boater, no inconsiderate person. Just an empty boat following the current. In that moment, the monk's anger completely dissolved. He laughed at himself. He realized that the boat had been empty all along, yet his anger had been just as real, as if someone had been steering it deliberately toward him. Then came his second realization. Perhaps all boats are empty. Perhaps when someone speaks harshly to us, they are like an empty boat, pushed by currents they may not even understand, by their pain, their fear, their past. Perhaps when we ourselves act in ways we regret, we too are empty boats, moved by currents beneath our awareness. This teaching invites us to see that most of what happens to us is not personal. Life bumps into us like empty boats. People speak from their own suffering, not because of who we are. Even our own difficult thoughts and feelings arise from conditions, like boats drifting on a current. As you rest here tonight, imagine all the empty boats that have bumped into you today. That person who was short with you, an empty boat, pushed by their own struggles. That worry in your mind, an empty boat, drifting from past conditioning. That tension in your body, an empty boat, the result of holding and protecting. Now imagine untying all these boats. Let them drift away on the vast lake of consciousness. You don't need to hold on to them. You don't need to take them personally. They can simply drift back into the mist. Breathe in spaciousness. Breathe out, releasing the boats. Breathe in understanding. Breathe out, letting them go. One by one, the boats drift away. Your hurt feelings floating away. Your angry thoughts drifting into the mist. Your worries becoming smaller in the distance. You are here in your own boat, still and quiet on a peaceful lake. The water settles. The mist glows softly. You are alone with peace, with breath, with a gentle rocking of rest. Let yourself float now, like a boat on calm water. Let the gentle current of sleep begin to carry you. There is nowhere you need to steer yourself. Simply float, drift, rest. Story 3. The Tiger's Whisker. This story comes from an ancient tale about patience, wisdom, and the nature of transformation. In a small village at the edge of a great forest, there lived a woman named Yun. Her husband had returned from war changed, angry, distant, unable to sleep or find peace. Nothing she did seemed to reach him. Their home, once filled with laughter, had become silent and tense. Desperate, Yun climbed the mountain to seek out a wise hermit who lived in a cave. After many hours of climbing, she found him and explained her situation. "Please," she begged, "give me a potion, a magic spell, anything to bring back the man I married." The hermit listened with compassion. Then he said, "I can prepare such a remedy, but it requires a special ingredient. You must bring me a whisker from a living tiger." Yun's heart sank. How could she possibly obtain such a thing? But her love for her husband gave her courage. She bowed to the hermit and returned home. The next morning, she walked to the edge of the forest where a tiger was known to live. At a safe distance, she left a bowl of rice and meat, then quickly returned home. The next day, she returned to the same spot and left another bowl, this time a few steps closer to where she had seen the tiger's tracks. Day after day, week after week, month after month, Yun returned. Each day she left food a little bit closer. Eventually, she could see the tiger from a distance, watching her. But she did not rush. She remained patient. Slowly, over many months, the tiger grew accustomed to her presence. One day, Yun stayed while the tiger ate. The great creature looked at her, but did not flee or attack. More weeks passed. One morning, the tiger allowed Yun to sit near him while he ate. Her hands trembled, but she remained calm and steady. Finally, after nearly a year of patience, the tiger allowed Yun to reach out and gently stroke his head. With careful, reverent fingers, she plucked a single whisker. The tiger looked at her with knowing eyes, then turned and walked back into the forest. Triumphant, Yun climbed the mountain again to the hermit's cave. "I have it!" she exclaimed, holding up the whisker. "Now please, make me the potion to change my husband." The hermit took the whisker, examined it carefully, then walked to the entrance of his cave and released it into the wind. "No," Yun cried. "What have you done? I spent a year obtaining that whisker." The hermit smiled gently. "Tell me, how did you obtain it?" Through her tears, Yun explained. The patience, the consistency, the slow building of trust, the many months of gentle presence. "And do you think," the hermit asked softly, "that your husband is more dangerous than a tiger? If you could tame a wild tiger through patience and gentle presence, surely you can reach a suffering human being in the same way." In that moment, Yun understood. There was no magic potion. The wisdom was in the method itself. She had learned what she needed to know. As you listen to this story, feel its wisdom settling into your body like a gentle rain. So much in life requires patience. Healing requires patience. Change requires patience. Rest requires patience. You cannot force yourself to sleep, just as Yun could not rush the tiger's trust. You can only create the conditions and allow it to happen naturally. Tonight, you have created the conditions for rest. You are lying down. You are breathing. You are listening to these gentle words. Now, like Yun returning day after day, simply be patient with yourself. If sleep does not come immediately, that is okay. You are building trust with your own body and mind. Each night of practice, like each day of Yun's offerings, brings you closer. Breathe in patience. Breathe out striving. Breathe in gentleness. Breathe out force. Breathe in trust. Breathe out control. Like the tiger that eventually allowed itself to be touched, your body knows how to rest. Your mind knows how to let go. You need only to be patient, to be gentle, to keep showing up with kindness. Feel yourself softening now, just as the tiger softened to Yun's presence. Your defenses can come down. Your guardedness can relax. You are safe here. You can let yourself be reached by peace. Continue breathing softly, patiently, gently, allowing rest to come in its own time. Story 4. The Two Wolves. An old Cherokee teaching story says that within each person there is a battle between two wolves. One wolf is fear, anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other wolf is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. A young warrior came to his grandfather and asked, "Which wolf wins?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed." As you rest here tonight, consider, which wolf have you been feeding? Throughout your day, which thoughts did you return to again and again? Which inner voice claimed most of your attention? Perhaps you spent the day feeding the wolf of worry, returning again and again to anxious thoughts. Perhaps you fed the wolf of resentment, replaying difficult interactions. Perhaps you fed the wolf of inadequacy, criticizing yourself throughout the day. But now, in this moment, you have a choice. You can choose which wolf to feed as you drift towards sleep. Tonight, we will deliberately feed the wolf of peace. Breathe in and think, "I am safe." You are feeding the wolf of peace. Breathe out and think, "I release worry." You are starving the wolf of fear. Breathe in, "I am worthy of rest." Feeding peace. Breathe out, "I let go of the day's burden." Releasing fear. Breathe in, "I trust in tomorrow." Feeding peace. Breathe out, "I release the need to control." Releasing anxiety. With each breath, each thought, you are making a choice. You are feeding one wolf and not the other. Choose peace, peace, peace. The Buddha taught that we become what we think, having become what we thought. The thoughts you dwell on shape your experience of reality. So tonight, deliberately, consciously, choose to dwell on peace. If the wolf of fear scratches at your door, but what about that thing tomorrow? You simply don't open the door. You don't feed that wolf. Instead, you turn your attention back to peace. I am resting now. Tomorrow will take care of itself. If the wolf of regret howls, but you should have done that differently today. You don't engage. You don't throw it scraps of attention. Instead, you turn back to peace. Today is finished. I did my best. Now I rest. With practice, the wolf you don't feed grows quieter. It may never disappear completely. These wolves are part of being human, but it doesn't need to dominate your inner landscape. Tonight, the wolf of peace grows stronger with every breath. Feel it settling inside you, calm, strong, steady. This wolf protects your rest. This wolf guards your peace. This wolf wants nothing more than for you to feel safe and at ease. Let this wolf curl up beside you now. Feel its warm presence, its steady breathing matching yours. You are not alone. Peace is with you, within you, protecting you as you sleep. Breathe with the wolf of peace, in and out, calm and steady, safe and protect, deeply at rest. Story 5. Angulimala, the Bandit. This is a story of redemption and the possibility of change from the life of the Buddha himself. In ancient India, there was a feared bandit named Angulimala, which means finger garland. He was called this because he wore a garland of fingers taken from his victims. He had killed 99 people and needed just one more finger to complete his garland of 100. The whole region lived in terror. People locked their doors at sunset. Travelers avoided the forest road where Angulimala lived. Even the king's soldiers were afraid to pursue him. One day, the Buddha set out on the forest road, walking slowly, calmly, deliberately toward Angulimala's territory. Villagers begged him not to go. "Even the king's army fears this man," they cried, but the Buddha continued walking. Angulimala saw him from a distance, a lone monk in saffron robes, an easy target for his 100th victim. He gripped his sword and chased after the Buddha. But here is where the story becomes strange. Though Angulimala ran with all his might, and though the Buddha merely walked at his usual pace, Angulimala could not catch up. No matter how fast he ran, the Buddha remained the same distance ahead, walking calmly. Finally, exhausted and frustrated, Angulimala shouted, "Stop, monk! Stand still!" The Buddha turned and said gently, "I am standing still. It is you who has not stopped." These words pierced Angulimala's heart. He understood. The Buddha had stopped running from suffering, from fear, from craving and hatred. But Angulimala, though his body was chasing, had never stopped running from his own pain, his own past, his own terrible guilt. In that moment, something broke open in Angulimala. He fell to the ground, weeping. "What am I? What have I become?" The Buddha stood with him in his anguish. He did not condemn. He did not turn away. He simply said, "You have done terrible things. But you are not only what you have done. The possibility of awakening exists in every being, even now, even in you." Angulimala renounced his violence. He became a monk and, through years of meditation and service, found peace. Former victims who saw him would throw stones, and he would accept this as his due. But he continued practicing compassion, continued choosing peace, continued feeding the wolf of wisdom rather than the wolf of hatred. The story tells us that his final words before dying were, "I searched for peace through violence and found only more suffering. I found true peace only when I stopped running and stood still, as the Buddha taught me." This story holds medicine for us tonight. Perhaps you too have been running, not from the law, but from yourself. Running from your feelings, your fears, your past, your perceived inadequacies, running toward achievement, approval, security, always moving, never resting. The Buddha's words to Angulimala are for you tonight. Stop, stand still. You don't need to run anymore. Whatever you're running from cannot catch you here in this bed. Whatever you're running toward will still be there tomorrow. For now, stop, stand still. There is no violence in this moment. There is no danger. There is only the rising and falling of your breath, the softness of your resting body, the gentle night holding you. Like Angulimala laying down his sword, lay down your weapons too. Your self-criticism, your harsh judgments, your endless striving. You don't need them here. Like Angulimala accepting the Buddha's compassion, accept compassion for yourself. You are not only what you have done or failed to do. You are a being worthy of peace, worthy of rest, worthy of redemption through simply stopping the violence against yourself. The Buddha saw what Angulimala could become. I invite you to see what you are becoming right now, a person who knows how to rest, how to stop, how to stand still in the midst of life's chaos. Breathe in stillness, breathe out running, breathe in acceptance, breathe out striving, breathe in peace, breathe out violence against yourself. Stand still now, stop running, let peace find you here. Story 6. The Mustard Seed. There was once a young woman named Kisa Gautami who lived in a small village. She had married and given birth to a beautiful baby boy. Her heart overflowed with love for her child. He was her whole world, her joy, her purpose. But when the boy was just a toddler, he fell ill. Despite all efforts, all prayers, all medicine, the child died. Kisa Gautami was overcome with grief, so profound that she could not accept it. She carried her dead child from house to house, begging people to give her medicine to cure him. Some people looked at her with pity. Others turned away, uncomfortable. Some said cruel things. She has gone mad with grief. Finally, someone said to her with compassion, "Go to the Buddha. If anyone can help you, he can." Kisa Gautami went to where the Buddha was teaching. She bowed before him, her dead child still in her arms, and pleaded, "Please, Master, give me medicine to cure my son." The Buddha looked at her with infinite compassion. He did not say, "Your child is dead. Let him go." Instead, he said, "I will help you, but first you must bring me a handful of mustard seeds. They must come from a household where no one has ever died." Hope blazed in Kisa Gautami's heart. She immediately began going door to door through the village. "Please, can you give me mustard seeds? But only if no one in your household has ever died." At the first house, the woman said, "Of course I have mustard seeds, but my husband died last year." At the second house, "My mother died when I was young." At the third, "My brother died in the war." At the fourth, "My daughter died in childbirth." House after house, family after family, everyone had mustard seeds, but no one, not a single household, had been untouched by death. As the day wore on, as Kisa Gautami heard story after story of loss, something began to shift in her understanding. She realized that she was not alone in her grief. Death comes to every household. Loss is universal. Everyone she met had loved someone and lost them. By evening, Kisa Gautami understood what the Buddha had been teaching her. She took her child's body to the cremation ground and said goodbye. Then she returned to the Buddha. She bowed deeply and said, "I could not find a household untouched by death. I understand now. I thought I was the only one suffering, but suffering is universal. Everyone experiences loss." The Buddha spoke gently. No one can escape death and unhappiness. If people expect only happiness in life, they will be disappointed. The way to peace is to accept the truth of impermanence, that all things arise and pass away. Kisa Gautami became one of the Buddha's followers and, through her practice, found peace with her loss. She learned that while we cannot escape pain, we can free ourselves from the added suffering that comes from believing we are alone, or that our situation is unique, or that death should not exist. As you rest here tonight, feel the truth of this story settling into your awareness. You are not alone in whatever you carry. Every person you have ever met carries some form of loss, some form of pain, some burden they bear. This is not meant to make you sad. It is meant to connect you to all of humanity. We are all in this together. We are all trying to love in a world where everything we love is temporary. We are all seeking peace in a world of constant change. Your struggles, your worries, your fears, these do not make you broken or weak. They make you human. They connect you to every person who has ever lived. Breathe in this connection. Breathe out isolation. Breathe in shared humanity. Breathe out the belief that you alone suffer. Breathe in compassion for yourself and all beings. Breathe out judgment. The Buddha taught Kisa Gautami that the way forward is not to avoid pain, but to accept impermanence. Everything changes. This grief will change. This worry will change. This sleeplessness will change. Nothing stays the same forever. Even the difficult feelings you carry tonight, they too are like clouds passing through the sky. They are here now, but they will move, shift, transform. You need not cling to them. You need not push them away. Simply let them be as they pass through. Breathe with impermanence now. Each breath arises and passes. Each thought arises and passes. Each sensation arises and passes. This is the nature of all things. Rest in this flowing, changing, temporary moment. There is a strange peace in knowing nothing lasts forever, including your struggles. Let go into the flow of change. Let go into the river of impermanence. Let yourself be carried towards sleep, knowing that this too shall pass, and morning will come, and life will continue its eternal dance of arising and passing away. Story 7. The Poison Arrow. The Buddha once had a student named Malunkyaputta who became frustrated with meditation practice. He went to the Buddha and said, "Master, you have not answered the ultimate questions. Does the universe have a beginning, or is it eternal? Does the soul exist after death, or does it not? Is the universe infinite or finite? Until you answer these questions, I cannot practice." The Buddha replied with a story. Suppose a man is shot with a poisoned arrow. His friends rush him to a doctor, but the wounded man says, "Wait, before you remove this arrow, I must know who shot it. Was he a warrior or a farmer? Was he tall or short? Was he dark-skinned or light-skinned? What type of wood is the arrow made from? What kind of feathers? What poison was used?" While this man demands answers to all these questions, what would happen? Malunkyaputta replied, "He would die, Master. The questions are not relevant to his immediate suffering." "Exactly," said the Buddha. "You have been shot with the poisoned arrow of suffering, birth, aging, sickness, death, sorrow, and pain. I teach you how to remove this arrow. Whether the universe is eternal or not eternal, whether the soul exists after death or not, these questions do not remove the arrow of suffering. They do not lead to peace, to wisdom, to awakening. What I teach is this. This is suffering. This is the origin of suffering. This is the cessation of suffering. This is the path to the cessation of suffering. This is useful. This leads to peace. This teaching is medicine for the restless mind that keeps you awake at night. How often does your mind shoot questions like arrows? Why did that happen? What if this goes wrong tomorrow? What does my life mean? Why am I like this? What will happen in the future? These questions spiral endlessly. You can spend hours, nights, years pondering them, and still the arrow of suffering remains. Still, you cannot sleep. Still, you cannot find peace. The Buddha's teaching is practical. Remove the arrow first. Find peace first. The ultimate questions can wait. So tonight, when your mind throws these questions at you, but what about? But why? But how? Recognize them as distractions from the immediate task. Rest. You don't need to solve every problem tonight. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to figure out your whole life right now. You simply need to remove the arrow of exhaustion by allowing yourself to sleep. The Buddha taught, deal with what is immediate and useful. Right now, what is immediate? Rest. What is useful? Letting go. So each time a question arises, but I need to think about, gently remind yourself, not now. Right now, I remove the arrow. Right now, I rest. Breathe in simplicity. Breathe out complexity. Breathe in what is immediate. Breathe out endless questions. Breathe in practical peace. Breathe out philosophical spirals. There will be time for questions tomorrow. Tonight is for healing. Tonight is for rest. Tonight is for removing the arrow of exhaustion from your weary body and mind. Trust that the Buddha's teaching is true. Some questions do not need answers. Some problems do not need solving. Some thoughts do not need thinking. What you need, truly need, is already here. The breath flowing in and out, the body resting, the moment unfolding naturally. This is enough. Let all the questions float away like dandelion seeds on the wind. Watch them drift into the distance. Let them go without needing to chase them down and answer them. You are safe here in not knowing. You are safe here in not solving. You are safe here in simply being, simply breathing, simply resting. The arrow is removed. The wound can heal. Peace is possible. Sleep is coming. Story 8. The Banyan Deer. In one of his past lives, the Buddha was born as the king of a herd of deer living in a forest. The deer in this herd were beautiful, golden in color, and the king was the most magnificent of all, known as the Banyan Deer. In this same forest lived another herd of deer with their own king, and near the forest lived a human king who loved to hunt. This king would frequently enter the forest with his men, surrounding the entire forest so no deer could escape, then hunting them down. The chaos and terror were immense. Many deer were wounded but not killed, suffering greatly. The disruption meant deer could never rest or eat peacefully. The Banyan Deer thought, this cannot continue. We are all living in constant fear. So he did something remarkable. He went directly to the human king, walking into danger to face him, and made one an offer. Your Majesty, the way you hunt now causes great suffering. Many deer are wounded and die slowly. The entire forest lives in terror. I propose an alternative. Each day, one deer from our herds will come voluntarily to your palace. You will have your meat, but there will be no chase, no terror, no unnecessary suffering. The human king was so moved by the courage and wisdom of the Banyan Deer that he agreed. From then on, the two deer herds took turns sending one deer each day to the palace. It was still death, but it was not terror. The forest knew peace. Deer could graze calmly, drink water without panic, rest without fear. One day, it was the turn of a pregnant doe from this other herd. She went to her king and asked, "Please, Might I wait until after my fawn is born? Then I will go willingly." But her king said, "The system must be fair. It is your turn. You must go." In desperation, the doe went to the banyan deer and told him her situation. The banyan deer felt great compassion. He thought, "She should not have to die now, carrying new life, but I cannot ask another to take her place. That would be unfair." So he decided, "I will go in her place." He walked to the palace himself. The human king was shocked to see the magnificent banyan deer. "Why have you come? The agreement protects you as the leader." The banyan deer explained about the pregnant doe. "She asked for mercy, and her king gave none, so I have come in her place. A leader serves those he leads." The human king was so deeply moved by this act of compassion that something changed in his heart. He said, "Banyan deer, I free this doe. She need not die." "Thank you, Your Majesty," said the banyan deer. "And I free you as well. You need not die either," the king continued. "Thank you, Your Majesty. And I free both your herds. Neither herd need send anyone again." "Thank you, Your Majesty. But what of the other animals in the forest? The wild boars, the birds, the rabbits?" The human king's heart opened further. "I free them all. I will hunt no more in this forest." "And what of the animals in the other forests, Your Majesty?" The king paused, then said, "I free all animals in all my lands. I renounce hunting." One act of compassion had transformed not just 2 lives, but an entire kingdom. Violence ceased, fear ended, peace spread like ripples from a stone dropped in still water. This story carries profound medicine for your rest tonight. It teaches several truths. First, compassion has power. When you face your fears with compassion for yourself and others, transformation becomes possible. Second, sometimes we must sacrifice our comfort to find peace. The banyan deer gave up his safety, but gained something greater, the end of all hunting, peace for all beings. Tonight, what might you need to sacrifice to find rest? Perhaps your grip on control. Perhaps your need to figure everything out. Perhaps your resistance to vulnerability. Can you, like the banyan deer, walk into the unknown with courage? Third, small acts of compassion create large changes. One deer's choice changed a kingdom. Your choice right now to be compassionate with yourself, to allow yourself rest, may seem small, but it ripples out into your tomorrow, your relationships, your life. Breathe in compassion for yourself. Breathe out self-judgment. Breathe in courage to be vulnerable. Breathe out the need to be strong. Breathe in trust in the process. Breathe out the need to control. Like the forest when hunting ended, your body and mind can know peace. The chase is over. The terror can end. You can graze peacefully in this moment. You can drink deeply from rest. You can lay down without fear. The banyan deer teaches us that leadership is service, and service begins with compassion. Tonight, serve yourself by allowing rest. Lead yourself toward peace with compassion, not force. Feel the forest around you growing quiet. The danger has passed. The hunting has ceased. All beings rest peacefully under the stars. You too can rest. You too are safe. You too can let go. The pregnant doe was saved. New life was protected. And you too carry new life within you. The possibility of tomorrow, the potential of rest, the promise of awakening refreshed. Protect this new life by resting now. Honor yourself by letting go. Serve your highest good. by surrendering to sleep. Story 9. The Clay Pot. There is a simple Zen story that goes like this. A master and student were walking together when they came upon a beautiful clay pot sitting by the side of the road. The pot was exquisite, perfectly formed, beautifully glazed, clearly valuable. The student said, "Master, look at this beautiful pot. Should we take it with us? It seems abandoned here." The master picked up the pot, examined it carefully, then suddenly dropped it. The pot shattered on the ground. The student was shocked. "Master, why did you do that? It was so beautiful." The master replied, "It was already broken." The student didn't understand. "But it wasn't broken. You broke it." The master smiled gently. All things are already broken. Everything that comes together will come apart. Everything born will die. Everything created will be destroyed. The pot was always on its way to becoming shards. I simply allowed it to arrive at its destination. "But then," asked the student, "if everything is already broken, why should we care for anything?" "Ah," said the master, "because we love what is already broken, because we care for what will not last, because beauty is not less beautiful for being temporary. We hold the pot gently because it is fragile, not in spite of its fragility. We treasure the moment because it will pass." This teaching is profound for your rest tonight. You may be lying here thinking about everything that feels broken. A relationship, your health, your career, your dreams, your sense of self, your ability to sleep. But the Zen master teaches it was already broken, not in a nihilistic way, but in a liberating way. Everything in this world is fragile, temporary, in the process of changing. Your body is already broken. It will age. It will eventually fail. This is not pessimism. This is truth. And paradoxically, accepting this truth brings peace. Your life is already broken. It will not last forever. Your problems are already broken. They will change and transform. Even your inability to sleep is already broken. It too will pass. When you stop trying to make things permanent, when you stop trying to hold everything together, when you accept that all things are already in the process of breaking and changing, you can finally relax. You don't have to hold so tightly anymore. You don't have to keep everything perfect. You don't have to maintain control. It's all already breaking, all already changing, all already on its way to transformation. This is not sad. This is liberating. It means you can let go. It means the pressure is off. It means you can rest. Breathe in acceptance of impermanence. Breathe out the burden of making things last. Breathe in the beauty of temporary things. Breathe out the fear of loss. Breathe in relief. Breathe out exhaustion from trying to hold everything together. Your thoughts about tomorrow, already broken, already changing. Your worries about the past, already broken, already gone. Your tension in your body, already broken, already releasing. Your identification with being someone who can't sleep, already broken, already transforming. Everything is in flux. Everything is becoming something else. This very moment is already breaking into the next moment. And that's okay. That's how life works. That's the dance. So you can stop trying to hold on. Stop trying to keep everything together. Stop trying to make sure everything is perfect before you allow yourself to rest. It's all already broken, and that means you're free. Free to let go. Free to rest. free to allow this moment to be exactly as it is, without needing to fix it or control it. Like the clay pot, you too are perfect in your imperfection, beautiful in your fragility, precious precisely because this moment will not last forever. Tomorrow you will wake, and even that moment will break into the next. But for now, for these precious hours of night, simply be, simply rest, simply allow yourself to shatter into sleep and be remade in dreams. All things are already broken, so let yourself break open into rest. Let yourself fall apart into peace. Let yourself shatter into sleep. There is strange freedom in accepting brokenness. Try it now. Feel how much lighter you become when you stop holding everything together. Feel how much easier it is to breathe when you accept that everything changes. Already broken, already changing, already perfect, already at peace. Deep relaxation and letting go. Now we enter a deeper space of rest. All the stories have been told. All the teachings have been offered. Now there is only peace, only breath, only the gentle descent into sleep. Imagine yourself once again beneath the great Bodhi tree. You have journeyed through all these stories and arrived here at the place of rest. The monk with his strawberry is here, teaching you presence. The empty boats float peacefully on the still lake. Yun sits nearby, at peace with patience. Both wolves rest quietly, and you feed only peace. And Angulimala, transformed, sits in meditation, having finally stopped running. You are in good company, the company of all beings who have learned to rest, to let go, to trust. Above you, the Bodhi tree's leaves rustle softly. Each leaf is a teaching. Each breath of wind carries wisdom. But you don't need to understand or remember anything now. The teachings have done their work. Now there is only rest. A golden light begins to glow from the heart of the tree. This is the light of all the wisdom you've absorbed tonight. It flows down the trunk, across the ground, and enters your body through your feet. Feel it rising through you. Ankles, legs, hips, torso, chest, shoulders, arms, neck, head. Everywhere it flows, there is release, there is peace, there is profound letting go. Your body is completely relaxed now, completely safe, held by the earth, protected by the ancient tree, surrounded by the teachings of compassion and wisdom. Your mind is quiet. Thoughts may still arise, but they're like distant birds flying across a vast sky. They don't disturb the sky. They don't disturb you. You are the sky, spacious, open, at peace. Let everything go now. Let the stories drift away. Let the teachings dissolve. Let even these words fade into the background. There is only breath, only peace, only rest. In and out, in and out. Final blessing. As you drift now into sleep, receive these words of blessing, adapted from traditional Buddhist teachings. May you be held in compassion. May you be free from suffering. May you rest in deep peace. May you wake refreshed and whole. May all beings everywhere rest peacefully tonight. May all beings be free from fear. May all beings know they are worthy of love. May all beings wake to a day of possibility. You are part of this vast web of life, this community of beings all seeking peace, all worthy of rest. You are not alone. You are connected to all things. Breathe in this connection. Breathe out isolation. Breathe in belonging. Breathe out separation. Breathe in peace. Breathe out everything else. The Buddha taught that peace comes from within. Do not seek it outside yourself. It is here, now, in this very breath, in this very moment of rest. You have everything you need. You are exactly where you need to be. There is nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Simply be, simply breathe, simply rest. Silent presence, long gentle pauses between phrases now, allowing deep silence, in and out, peace and rest, safe and held, letting go, breathing, softly, drifting, floating, sleep coming, peace now, rest deeply, extended silence with only occasional gentle reminders, breathing, peace, rest, sleep. Final extended silence to the end, allowing complete surrender to sleep. May you rest in perfect peace. May you sleep deeply and well. May you wake with a heart full of ease. Good night.